Welcome to LUTV News InFocus, where we feature interesting topics on campus, in the community, and in the world of culture. I'm Nick Northrup. The 4th annual Jimmy Simmons Jazz Festival is on the horizon. The event is named after President Emeritus James Simmons, who is an accomplished saxophonist. The festival will feature clinics, a concert with special guests, and much more. Lamar University music professor Rick Condit is here to tell us more about the festivities. But before we get to that, let's hear a little bit about yourself. What is your position here at Lamar University?
Well, I teach saxophone. You know, as music majors, we're all required to declare a major instrument. And most of the major instruments there, we have faculty members that specialize in that instrument. And so all of my saxophone majors meet with me once a week for an applied lesson. And then we have a studio class that meets once a week where all of the saxophone students come together. So I have 13 saxophone students right now. And I direct the jazz ensemble, which meets 3 times a week for our rehearsal.
And I assume that jazz ensemble is going to be part of the Jazz Festival?
Oh, very definitely.
Awesome.
We've been looking forward to it for a long time.
Cool. All right, what inspired you to become a music professor?
Well, I've been playing the saxophone for a half a century, since I was about 13 years old, and some. I enjoyed being a part of that. I've been a professional musician. I've toured, I've performed and taught in about 25 countries, and I've performed in 48 states of the 50. And so I've been around music, jazz and jazz education my whole life. So the opportunity to do that really kind of came out of the blue. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't really headed. That wasn't my career direction. My original idea or hope was just to be a full-time professional musician. But other circumstances came along that sort of moved me more and more into the education area. I still perform and teach quite a bit. In fact, I'll be going on a little later this semester. I'll be going on tour with a professional band for several days toward the end of the semester. So again, I've been around jazz and jazz education my whole life, and it really, this whole field sort of took off in the 1960s and 1970s due to the work of a few real dedicated professional band leaders who really encouraged that in the public schools and in the universities. So the jazz education movement in the United States has been going very strong since then. I actually attended the University of North Texas, and they have one of the biggest and oldest jazz education programs in the country. It actually started earlier than that, and when I attended there, they had 1,200 music majors. Jeez. And 500 of those were just dedicated to jazz studies. So it's a niche market, you might say, but it's one that's been growing strong. You know, jazz music is an American art form. It's original to our country, even though it has influences from other countries. But so it's natural that we want to help to encourage that and audiences and the enjoyment of jazz music. So that's part of what we do here. So my students really are they're doing living history in a sense. You know, awesome. They're performing historical music and modern music that's still being written for this type of band.
Awesome. Well, speaking of jazz, there's an upcoming jazz festival. How did you get involved in that, and what's your role in the event?
Well, I'm the coordinator of the event, and actually, prior to coming to Lamar, I've been here, this is my 9th year now. Prior to that, I taught at McNeese State in Lake Charles for 30 years. And during that time, I actually organized a jazz festival for 20 years of those 30 years over there. So it's something that, I've been involved in for a very long time. When Dr. Simmons and his wife wanted to endow the department, one of the things that was very important to him was that there be a festival. And so he asked me through our department chair what it would take to do that. And so I was very happy to oblige and tell him what I thought we needed to be able to do that. And so through their endowment, that's provided the funding that's necessary for us to put this on. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of organization required. We have quite a few schools coming in. We have a dozen schools coming from around the state, and even a couple from Louisiana. And in fact, of those 12 schools, I think 7 of them, the directors, are graduates of Lamar. So this is not something that I really started here. It's been something that's been going on for quite a long time. You mentioned Dr. Simmons in your introduction. He actually started teaching at Lamar in the 1970s, and his original job was as assistant band director and clarinet teacher. And from there, he went on to become the band director, and then the department chair, and then the dean, and then the president. So, and he is a very accomplished musician and still performs on the saxophone and the piano as well. And so we're very thankful for his influence and his recognition of the importance of carrying on this tradition.
Awesome. So the music department puts on plenty of performances, from recitals to collages. What sets the Jazz Festival apart from the other events?
Well, I guess the most obvious answer is just our emphasis on jazz music. When we do the collage performance, it's a little sample of everything that we do in the department, from opera to concert band and marching band and percussion and piano, several different things. But a jazz festival is really dedicated to giving public school groups from middle school, junior high school, and high school the opportunity to come together in an educational exchange where they perform on our stage, and then they're critiqued by professional educators who've had many, many years of experience, and they give them feedback and input. And then at the end of the day, we bring all those students together for a sort of a gala concert, which this year will be featuring this group, the Yellow Jackets. So it is a completely jazz-oriented, focused education opportunity for those students, and ours as well.
That's super cool to hear. I'll definitely be attending it, and I'm sure you'll have quite the audience.
I hope so. Yeah, all the student groups will be there, and it's open to the public, and it's free. Did I mention free? And there are tickets available in our music department office in the Jimmy Simmons Music Building, and also at Swicegood Music, which is down just 5 minutes from the school down on the Nederland Highway there. So in their new location. So we appreciate their support. And it's going to be wonderful. The concert will be in the Jefferson Theater. Mm-hmm. And if you've not been there, have you been in there? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a beautiful restored 1927 movie theater, and we've done several concerts in there. In fact, the city of Beaumont is helping us to produce this as well. They're donating the space for us to perform in, and we've done, as I said, several concerts there over the last few years, as well as other venues downtown. We've played at the event center there on the lake, and so we really appreciate that. It's a great sounding room. It's a great place to have a concert.
Well, I look forward to seeing you on stage, but that is about all the time we have right now. So thank you for watching LUTV News in Focus. To see more content from LUTV News, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.